With the high success of The Dark Knight, it only made sense that the game would be rushed out for a corresponding release date. But what we got was nothing. That's right, seemingly a first for a superhero movie, a movie with no game tie-in. Instead, we got rumors of an up-and-coming game called Arkham Asylum, with little to no information released. So now, after a year waiting, it's finally here. Does this new Batman game bring fans ever so close to the fantasy of curb-stomping baddies? Or does it belong with the rest of the superhero letdowns? Well, let's dive in. The game begins with Batman returning the Joker back to Arkham Asylum after a failed hostage-taking. Upon checking him in, things take a turn for the worse, as the Joker has a different plan in mind.
Now! Joker's loose. Alert the warden.
Now with the Joker and several crazy inmates on the loose and in control, it's up to our favorite Cape Crusader to put him back in his place and restore order. The game's atmosphere is wonderfully done, ramping up from the get-go and doesn't let up as you explore the inner workings of a bleak asylum. Along the way you'll see many familiar faces, as well as nostalgic touches catering to those who grew up reading the comic book or watching the animated show. The story itself isn't groundbreaking by any means, but by the way it was told, I found it captivating as it held my interest. Arkham Asylum is a mixed bag of tricks, giving players a nice variety of gameplay types to appease just about everyone. You have your combat that utilizes 4 buttons: strike, stun, dodge, and counter, as well as gadgets to spice up the battles. Not that they needed it. Because enemies flock to Batman in swarms, he's able to survive with the counter system. That works somewhat like the one used in Assassin's Creed, or Bruce Lee style if you will. Right before an enemy attacks, the light flashes indicating for you to hit the counter button, allowing Batman to pull off some devastating moves. The combat starts off pretty simple, but as the game progresses, it gets more complex, with the addition of even more enemies that need to be stunned, and enemies with guns. What Batman game would be complete without gadgets? Arkham Asylum boasts of fan favorites, Batarang, and Batclaw grappling hook, to name a few. Featuring 20 upgrades to unlock using the game's experience system. Experience is gained by defeating enemies, solving riddles, and finding trophies. This system is addicting while adding a little more depth to the game. Since Batman is only human, he must rely on the cover of shadows and outsmart his enemies, none of which is lost in this game. While in detective mode, you can keep track of enemy positions while maneuvering yourself to strike at an opportune time. The detective mode also serves as a guide for the story mode, keeping it linear as well as finding paths to hidden collectibles and solving riddles. A good portion of the game you'll spend climbing structures, giving the game a platformy feel, which I found quite enjoyable, giving the player time to breathe when they're not the target of a homicidal maniac. Even though the game is linear, there's still a sense of free roam and exploration, given that some areas will be inaccessible early on, but you can return later on in the game with upgraded gadgets and re-explore those areas, much like the Metroid series. In another nod to the Metroid series, the pacing in Arkham Asylum is well done, giving the player a new gadget or enemy type every hour or so, keeping the gameplay fresh as well as addicting. Now, Arkham Asylum is not without its faults. The boss fights, while awesome, were far too similar, 4 of which were practically the same, down to the fight patterns. Which is a real shame, as the Batman universe boasts a large roster of villains, so not battling some of the big names left me disappointed. Occasionally, your finishing move can be obstructed, leaving you with an awkward slow motion clip, and the lip syncing could definitely be better.
They took someone into the elevator. I couldn't tell who it was.
They obviously didn't want to be followed.
For the most part, the controls are pretty solid, making you feel like you really are the Dark Knight, though on occasion when running, you'll get caught around corners. On the upside, the graphics are awesome, and you can tell a lot of attention to detail went into making the character models, my favorite being Batman's suit that deteriorates over time due to the battles. As awesome as the environments are, they're crippled by the use of the detective mode, making the scenery very bland, consisting of blue and orange, which is a real shame as the environments range from dark and depressing to rich and colorful. The voice acting in this game is of course second to none. Fans of the animated show will recognize the voice casting reprising the role, including Kevin Conroy as Batman, performing miles above Christian Bale, and Mark Hamill, delivering a devious performance as the Joker. And in case you didn't know, he's this guy right here. Oh, you hear that? I think I just heard some fanboys giggling glee. I found it fun to pass the time by listening to some of the Joker's hilarious announcements over the PA system. The music is great, adding to the game's atmosphere, making situations hectic while you pummel henchmen, or adding to the mindfuck that are the Scarecrow levels. When you're done conquering the story mode, you can return scouring the levels for devilishly hidden trophies, solve riddles, learn the dark history of Arkham, And my favorite, listening to the cryptic interviews of your favorite Arkham residents.
We try something different.
Oh, you make me blush, Doc. I have a girlfriend.
Dr. Quinn's out. I know. See the tapes.
Now, aside from receiving an achievement for finding all the collectibles, you unlock character bios, character trophy models, and bonus challenge modes, giving them a purpose, making you want to find them all, unlike in other games where collectibles feel almost pointless. In the challenge modes, you compete over leaderboards for the best time or score by clearing out areas from the game. While they are fun, the collectibles are what will keep you coming back for more, and those who purchased the PS3 version were given exclusive Joker DLC, though it plays the same as the Batman challenge mode, just reskinned, as well as having some Joker exclusive weapons, but diehard fans will love it. Arkham Asylum takes the feel of the Dark Knight and captures it in game form, giving players an aggressive, badass Batman that we've always wanted to play as. Immersive story and great atmosphere with little touches for the diehard fans separates this from other superhero games. I found it to have really addicting gameplay, making me want to play non-stop. I can't remember the last time I played a game like this, and it's about due. First time through, you're looking at 16 to 20 hours, plus the challenge modes and the hidden items that you know you're going to want to find, giving you plenty of bang for your buck. Nowadays, there are a few games that I'd pay full price for, but Batman Arkham Asylum is definitely one of them. The only real disappointment was the lack of villains from the huge roster, but I can forgive that. I give it a thumbs up.